Hello and very warm welcome to Dr. Zia Ahmed YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about the prose language or the way language is used in writing prose. This is an important topic regarding the stylistics or the stylistic features of language which is used in prose. We also will be looking into the effect these features can have on the readers. The very first thing about the language of prose, which distinguishes it from drama language or poetry language, is the natural flow of language, because here sentences are used or created by combining the words in a natural order. There is no kind of rhythm or rhyme involved, and similarly, for the sake of dialogue, no extra words are involved. It's a simple writing which creates natural flow, and as a result, people are able to understand it better. Sometimes it may resemble everyday talk as well, so that it can be easily comprehended. So, the very first quality or the distinction of prose is that it is a natural flow of language. When we have a look at the kind of structures which are possibly involved in this natural flow, these can be as follows. We all of us know that in prose there will be sentences, and the sentences would make the paragraphs, and these paragraphs would create a whole structure of the essay or that of the writing. For this purpose, if we look at one paragraph, we can see that the paragraph would be beginning with a topic sentence, and the topic sentence therefore introduces what is going to happen in the paragraph. Then there can be 4 to 5 body sentences. These can be called in normal language as the details of the passage, and ultimately the concluding sentence would close the paragraph. Topic sentence and concluding sentence would have a relationship created with the help of the body sentences. So that is the structure of the paragraph. For example, if we want to write about the causes of pollution in Pakistan, that can start, there are multiple causes of pollution in Pakistan. Now these multiple causes should be talked about. I mean, maybe because of the water pollution, because of plastic, or because of any other reasons. These causes which are more significant will come into that. And as a result, we will be able to conclude that the pollution happens because of such causes. In that way, a natural following paragraph is created. The paragraphs are also combined together in the structure of the whole essay in the same way as the paragraph is connected internally and externally. Paragraphs have to be connected in order to create a whole, or the organic whole, one can say. And in the same way, we can have certain varieties of these writings which are in prose. These varieties are multiple again. These are narrative prose, expository prose, descriptive prose, and persuasive prose. Let's talk about them separately. Narrative prose is about the story, about the past event that happens, and we want to tell to somebody in our writing without caring for the metaphors or the similes or the kind of garnishing of the writing. We simply talk about what had happened in an incident. It can be called as the narrative prose. Then are the expository prose. Expository proses can be about writing of an essay, writing of a letter, or writing of a report. So when we write these kind of things, definitely your personal point of view, your emotional point of view is not involved into it. It is mostly talking about the exact things based on facts and figures. And perhaps the purpose is to not only inform, but also to let the people join the debate. Then comes descriptive prose. This is a type of prose where any personality or anything or any phenomena is described in detail. For example, if somebody wants to talk about the moon, he may be describing as that person has looked at the moon. With the naked eye, the person may be having a different look, but to describe it truly, one needs to have a closer look, which is possible with a telescope, not without that. So anything which is in your grasp, which you can see, which you can look at, that can be described through this. Details are very much necessary so that anybody who reads this essay of descriptive prose may be able to calculate something out of it. Then is the persuasive prose. This may be the written speeches, this may be some kind of advertisement as well. The prose works in it also. The prose there mostly has those sentences which are not only natural but also convincing and trying to influence the people as well. But again, without creating any complexity. It's as simple as possible, keeping in view the audience who is going to understand. So that is why these major varieties or forms of prose can be considered. Coming back to the same issue, why prose is essential, why language of prose is different. One of the reasons was that it has got the natural flow. It has also got clarity and precision. We can talk about number of things in a few sentences. That means there could be precise things that we may say. Instead of rambling about number of sentences, number of words, adding unnecessary details, we may be able to talk very precisely in a short passage about the things. And when we talk in that way, clarity remains there. So the second most important characteristic of prose is that we use it in order to maintain clarity and to maintain precision. So in that way, we can have number of examples. For example, we can maintain through it fluency and flexibility also. Like if somebody says, okay, name the flying things in the paragraph, we can quickly go forward and look at the things which possibly fly. And we will definitely choose them and use those words as well. It means there will be a proper word for every proper description. Proper word by proper description means that the word may be having number of meanings, and these meanings may be determined by the context. So therefore the writer has to be very careful in the employment of those words which may possibly convey the exact meaning which the writer wants to have. So in this way, some kind of practices can be done in order to catch the right word. There are some examples of prose before us, and these are very much related to the forms and varieties of prose. For example, it can be the literary prose, it can be journalistic prose, it can be expository prose or persuasive prose. The last two have been talked about in the last slide. Let us talk about the first two. Literary prose. It may be written for the sake of literary message. For example, there are many writers the students have come across often. That is Russell, that is Huskin, that is Bacon, or all many type of writers. Like there is another writer, Jonathan Swift. He also writes in fictional prose. So the prose which is created for the sake of understanding, for the sake of thinking about critical thinking, for example, or it is created to amuse the people also or to instruct them also, that is literary prose. Then comes the journalistic prose. We write columns and articles or editorials in the newspapers, in the magazines, and these days it has taken the video form as well, but the thing is written first of all. So the prose which is used in these kind of platforms, especially newspapers and magazines, the written platforms, that should be termed as the journalistic prose. And in that way there are expository prose as well, and then is the persuasive prose too. Let us now see what are the tools available if a stylistician intends to analyze any piece of literature, any piece of prose, when he needs to look at what are the stylistic features that he should consider in order to see how prose has been written. That is, everyone knows diction, it's a word choice. How has writer chosen the words very much close to the intended meaning, or they are the kind of difficulty to understand the meanings. And then is the syntax, that is the sentence structure. What type of sentence structure has been used? Is it the question form, negative form most of the time, active or passive, or it could be direct, it could be indirect. That sentence needs to be seen, the structure of that sentence is used, with the help of which we can determine also the characteristics of the writer. Then is type of imagery and descriptive language. We need to see how the writer constructs one image with the help of the words or the sentences. If the writer wants to describe huge crowd, how the huge crowd has been portrayed, what are the sentences used for that purpose, what are the particular details and words used for that purpose, that a picture begins to emerge. tone and mood should be seen. I mean, it should be seen whether it is a dry subject or it's a persuasive subject, or the tone has been meant to be grievous or happy or sad, or what is the intention of the writer, just to expose the things, let us know, or the writer wants us to respond as well. And in the same way, point of view and narrative voice, we can capture very easily what is the point of view of the writer when he is using a particular style of the language, and what people he is representing, how the voice of the people is coming, how the voice of the writer is coming, how much he is taking care of all these things. Then, if some symbols have been used, they may be understood. And pacing, I mean, how does the writer shift from one idea to the other? Does he shift quickly or slowly? What is the pace of the writer to shift from one idea to the other, or to shift from one paragraph to the other? Then one needs to see if there is a dialogue type of thing. I mean, in the writing, if it is there that somebody may be appearing to be putting questions and the other person may be answering this. And some of the things may be about the themes involved in the piece of writing. Okay, so in that way, different things can be seen in order to analyze the stylistic feature of the prose language. We can have some of the analyses also by giving some examples. For example, in linguistics, if we talk of linguistics and stylistics, we can say that it would be an overview of stylistic analysis and approaches to the style. For example, here is one very famous sentence from Jane Austen's novel, Pride and Prejudice. It says, "It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife." So that is the sentence. And if you apply some of the tools, for example, what is the type of diction here? The diction is formal and it is ironic also. The words have been chosen in sets, and as a result, it appears to be satirical. And again, syntax. The balanced structure of the sentence reflects the decorum of the society being critiqued. The society about which Jane Austen writes mostly believed in the decorums. And the sentence also has a type of decorum in it, and that is why the arrangement of the words have been done in such a way that we are able to understand some of the things of the society. For example, where good fortune comes, where want of a wife comes, and universally acknowledged comes, single man, etc. All these things combined in such a way that it creates a very good kind of syntax to convey the message. The tone. The tone is witty and ironic, poking fun at social norms. Definitely, when we read that, we find out that this is not the case at all. So that is why the irony, fun, and wittiness of the writer is quite visible. Then we can talk of the theme also. The sentence introduces themes of marriage, wealth, and social expectation. So each part of the sentence reveals to us what is the theme. Definitely, it's about the relationship between man and woman. And then it talks about the good fortune. So wealth is also the important thing there. And what is expected, how one with good fortune should live. That is also talked about. So when we talk of these elements, we can gain a deeper understanding of how prose works to communicate meaning, evoke emotions, and engage the readers. And as a result, dear students, the whole matter ends here. We have discussed various aspects of the language of prose, and I have given you one analysis also, the types and kinds of prose that we can come across and the importance of prose. So thank you for watching. Hope to see you in some next video. And if you understand what is the language of prose regarding stylistics, do not fail to hit the subscribe button as well as the like button. And if you want, you can comment also. Sometime I do reply as them. Thank you for watching.